We created characters, I set the scene, and 10 minutes later I realised the players were going to go in the opposite direction to the prep I'd done beforehand. I was burning with joy. I do have a lot of ideas about how to prepare less, but I'm not advocating pointedly refusing to prepare. I've got some advice about what prep to do and how to do it. I'll give you details of those later in the video. Recently, I ran a Root RPG game for the younger generation of my extended family. I chose Root because they'd all played Dungeons and Dragons. In fact, one of them DMs it, and I wanted to provide a counterpoint. Here's a game without monsters, without wholesale slaughter, but still firmly bedded into a sort of fantasy setting that can be quickly grasped. While preparing for the session, I followed the advice in the rulebook. I created a clearing with factions and problems and local politics and situations that would benefit from the vagabonds' interference. Then we started the session, and what I had planned to be the throwaway exercise and scene setting turned out to be the only thing the characters cared about, and I had a choice. The one I picked made the session better, and I hope demonstrated the strength of flexibility. I could have thrown dead ends at them and brought in the fiction I had prepared, but I knew that if I did that, they'd either resent the railroading or try to work out how this all tied in to the mysteriously dead ends they had just encountered. So instead I did what I do best. I game mastered, and I repurposed all of my prep to the new plot. Powered by the Apocalypse games always stress how we should play to find out what happens. And for me, that's not just about the in-character activities, it's also about the players and our interactions with them. During character generation, I jotted down a potential spotlight activity for each character based on partly character themselves, but also how that particular player was interacting with the rest of the group. But when the plot jumps off any semblance of a railroad, I don't want to treat that as a train disaster. The wheels don't come off the cart. We just keep rolling with it. Where we're going, we don't need rails. The players decided there was a conspiracy behind a small detail I'd given them, and I instantly embraced that. I had the cast, the locations, already written from the prep I'd done, so I just used them. The constable worried about the health of the mayor became the constable investigating why the bridge had been sabotaged. I had planned on saying the bridge's collapse was just evidence of the clearing's poor management and bad weather, but clearly this was a grand conspiracy, so let's have the other routes into the clearing being blocked as well. When they try to leave, the constable realizes they're the most likely culprits, so let's have a confrontation. I threw in a faked bear attack and an injured mouse who had vital information, so let's visit the weird old healer I had originally planned they'd fetch for the sick mayor. When they found the people making the barricades, I found myself saying they were dressed as bandits, so let's have a fight and use our special weapon moves. And then, when they searched them, I decided to loop back in to the Root factions and make them Marquisate guerrillas, not gorillas, in disguise. They took the proof to the constable and cleared their names. Mindful of the length of the session and keen to wrap things up before one player got their Uber, we ended with them being told they'd done the Erie dynasty a great service. And as several of them had said they didn't like the Erie dynasty during character creation, this was a bitter pill of victory as they marked up their prestige. Finally, I revealed in the epilogue that the bridge was just washed away, and that was the route the Marquisate forces would have used to march in, but circumstances had delayed them long enough for the vagabonds to ruin their plans. They would have got away with it too, if it wasn't for you meddling woodland creatures. Everyone got their cool moment in the spotlight, used their playbook special moves, and they can't wait for me to schedule the next session. And at that, I'll reveal the map of the woodland is now permanently changed because no one is rebuilding that bridge. We play to find out what happens in a story we write together, and I could seamlessly switch into the story they wanted us to tell together because of this fundamental realization I've come to during 40 years of game mastering. My prep, your prep, all prep is just plan B. I shall delight in holding it lightly. And I don't mean if it goes wrong, then treat it as plan B. I mean go into a session fully prepared for whatever nonsense your players commit, with the security of knowing you wrote a fallback. Plan A is random shenanigans. Plan B is your prep. It's never wasted time. Even if there's nothing you can repurpose, it gets your mind's eye into the headspace of the genre. I have a video either coming up or already out about prep for no prep games. Check my channel page to see, or subscribe to get told by the robots when it arrives. But meanwhile, if you're thinking a root clearing's a lot of NPCs and want to know how I prepare those specifically, then I have just the video for you. It's this one.